facility. Metso, a Finland-based process technology company that employs more than 30,000 people worldwide, announced plans to further invest in its Clarksdale operations. This company is adding approximately 40 jobs and investing $4 million in its Mississippi expansion. Nissan. Nissan in 2012 increased production and added the Central line and 1,000 new jobs to its Canton facility. Just 2 weeks ago, Nissan celebrated 10 years of manufacturing excellence in Mississippi and announced it would build yet another model in this state, the Murano crossover. There are also companies creating jobs in Mississippi whose names may not be recognizable but are just as important in our economic efforts. These businesses are global leaders in their industries. For example, BorgWarner, a leading powertrain technology manufacturer, announced an expansion in Water Valley, and the creation of 50 new jobs. This is BorgWarner's third expansion in Mississippi in 2 years. Roxel, a leading manufacturer of stone wool insulation products, is investing $130 million to build its first U.S. manufacturing plant, which will create 150 jobs in Marshall County. Foley Products, a manufacturer of precast concrete components, announced a new facility and an investment of $7 million in Prentice. The new facility will create 40 jobs. General Atomics is investing $12 million in its seventh expansion in Tupelo, which is creating 25 new jobs. Just 2 weeks ago, components manufacturer Aurora Flight Sciences announced a $17 million expansion, creating 250 new jobs in Columbus. Drax Biomass announced it would construct a new wood pellet production facility in Gloucester, Mississippi. Its Mississippi-made pellets will fuel the company's power plants in the UK. The project will create 45 jobs in Amite County and represent an investment of more than $80 million by the company. 1 week ago, we cut the ribbon on Comfort Revolution's new furniture manufacturing facility in Tishomingo County. The company is creating 200 new jobs. Now, while I've named only a few of some of the larger projects of some here in Mississippi, efforts by MDA to help expand our existing homegrown businesses go on every day. Now, contract fabricators, a manufacturer of large pressure vessel headquartered in Holly Springs, Mississippi, is investing just over $1 million to expand into Iuka and create 50 new jobs there. Two businesses, Mount Olive-based Blaine and Forez, Canada, announced a new partnership to manufacture sand used in oil and gas recovery. Blaine invested $7 million, and its Canadian partner invested $27 million in its new Mississippi operations. Together, these companies created 60 new energy-related jobs. Oxford-based mortgage technology company FNC announced an expansion into international markets, which is creating 100 new jobs. The company was recently named, this is a Mississippi company, that was recently named one of the top 100 financial tech companies in the world. And VT Halter Marine, headquartered in Pascagoula, Mississippi, is constructing a ship repair facility that will generate 400 new jobs. The company currently employs 2,000 people at the Mississippi shipyard. Now, I am pleased tonight to make a new economic development announcement, here tonight. Ashley Furniture, one of the largest furniture manufacturing companies in the world and a leading employer in our state, is expanding its Mississippi operations. Ashley Furniture has had a manufacturing presence in Mississippi since 1994, and this world-class company has continued to invest in its Mississippi operations and in our people over the years. Today, the company operates manufacturing facilities in Ecru and Ripley that employ more than 3,000 people. With this expansion, Ashley will soon be opening a mattress manufacturing and custom service center in Verona, which will create another 60 jobs. Now, joining us tonight is Mr. Ron Warnick, Chairman and co-owner of Ashley Furniture. Ron, thank you. Thank you for your belief in Mississippi. Ron Warnick, ladies and gentlemen. Ron, you got a bigger round of applause than I did. We look forward to many years of success for Ashley Furniture in the state of Mississippi. Now, I describe all of these projects to you so that you can see at once what I see every day as governor. MDA making contact with site selectors, beginning the competitive recruitment process, putting a deal together, and landing a business win. With all the work our sister states have recently put into economic development, we must support the critical role of MDA. Now, please. Tonight, I call on you to make sure the world knows Mississippi will not take a back seat to anyone when it comes to attracting jobs. In the fall of this year, Mississippi will be the host of the United States Southeastern Association and Japan Association meeting on our Gulf Coast. Our partnership with Japanese companies that do business in our state, like Toyota and Nissan, is strong. Hosting what we call Zeus Japan is our opportunity to showcase that partnership for the companies in attendance. Now, I'm honored to have here with us tonight our American chairman of Zeus Japan, Mr. William Yates, President and CEO of W.G. Yates & Sons Construction Company, based in Philadelphia, Mississippi. Join me in welcoming William Yates. Thank you, William. Through business development efforts, I get a chance to meet and talk with business leaders from around the world. They continually express their admiration for the quality of our people and our workforce. Now, this session, there is one definitive way we can make sure that our workforce will remain competitive. We must improve our public education system. After the legislative session last year, I formed a working group of educators at all levels to identify the core problems in Mississippi's public education system and develop realistic recommendations for improvement. The statistics are troubling. Statewide figures show that nearly 17% of Mississippi students that begin high school never graduate. Worse, 22 school districts in this state have a dropout rate of 25% or more. 1/2 of Mississippi third graders are not proficient at reading. Let me repeat that. 1/2 of Mississippi's third graders currently are not proficient at reading. More than 2/3 of our fourth graders and eighth graders are also behind in reading, and Mississippi's math attainments are equally dismal. Now, these facts just can't be ignored or explained away by concluding we just aren't spending enough money on public education. Make no mistake, these alarming numbers are evidence of a crisis in our educational system, and we are tied directly directly to our dropout rate, our poverty rate, and more. Our very economic stability as a state is threatened if our education system is not improved. Our higher education system spent more than $35 million last year on remediation, and only 11% of Mississippi students who took the ACT met all its benchmarks for college readiness. We must make reforms now so that our citizens can be productive contributors to our communities and less relying on social welfare programs. My administration has issued a set of policies to improve our schools, known as Education Works. These measures address our most pressing needs. One of the policies many of you have heard me speak about is what I call the third grade gate. Now, that simply means we will end social promotion of third grade students who cannot read at a third grade level. We only hurt our students when we shuffle them through the system before they are ready. Taking additional time to ensure these students have adequate literacy skills will prepare them for success in later grades. I call on you to enact this important reform this year. I would also ask you to fund $15 million to assist with literacy improvement efforts. Now, these funds will help us train teachers better on best practices in reading instructions. We'll also help provide reading interventionists to help struggling third graders and other students. Our education system does a better job early on making sure that students can read on a grade level. When we do that, when we make sure those students can read early on their grade level, then we know remediation costs will decline. I've also discussed pay for performance or merit pay for our teachers. Now, I believe we should reward our best, most effective teachers by compensation. Let me be clear. Thank you. Now, let me be very clear. No teacher will lose any salary. 4 districts, Lamar, Gulfport, Rankin, and Clarksdale, have agreed to pilot this program. And the results will help implement evaluations using frameworks established by the Mississippi Department of Education. Rewarding our best teachers with higher pay is the best way to keep great teachers in the classroom. In addition to keeping and rewarding great classroom teachers, we must raise the bar for new teachers. The bill I submitted raises the entrance standards for education programs. Under this act, a student must have a 21 ACT score and a minimum GPA of 3.0 to become a teacher. Now, why would we want anything less for our students? No, we can also incentivize the best and brightest students to be school teachers by paying for them to attend in-state colleges. Now, I'm asking for you to fund 200 scholarships for students who have a 28 ACT score and a 3.5 GPA who commit to teaching in Mississippi's public schools for 5 years. When it comes to early childhood education, we must be realistic. Now, I believe that parents have a responsibility for their child's earliest learning. But unfortunately, many have abandoned that duty. To address this issue, we should work within the existing framework of the child care centers throughout the state and continue to assist in improving their efforts. By working with successful programs like Mississippi's Building Blocks, we can develop best practices in early education. Now, I'm asking you to fund $3 million to continue the literacy research building blocks is conducting so that we can help make sure children begin school ready to learn. For far too long, a family street address locked them behind a wall into one school. Now, what if that school were failing? What options do the parents have? As of today, the answer is none. Tonight, I'm calling on you to change that. When districts, listen closely, please, when districts have the room and choose to accept students from other attendance zones, we should allow them to do so. Open enrollment will create competition and offer freedom from restrictions that keep children in failing schools. Mississippi legislators, let us tear down those walls. I'm asking you to pass an act that will create privately funded opportunity scholarships so students who are below 250% of the poverty level and live in D and F school districts can have a chance to take resources and go elsewhere. Tonight, let us commit ourselves to give parents a choice so children can have a chance. Now, we should also have a workable, successful charter school act that provides choices for parents. More than 40 other states have this option. Shouldn't we allow such opportunities for our own children? Now, I applaud the Senate and the House for their efforts on this important issue. And when a good charter school bill reaches my desk, I intend to sign it. Thank you. I am also asking you to support dropout prevention programs like Jobs for Mississippi Graduates. Fund national certifications for high school students enrolled in workforce training. And continue to support Teach for America and the Mississippi Teachers Corps. President Ronald Reagan reminded us in his 1982 State of the Union of the countless, quiet, everyday heroes of American life. Counted among those heroes are the parents who worked so hard to bring more opportunity and a better life to their children. It is for these quiet heroes that we strive. We must make available the opportunity to succeed. No longer should we tightly grip the key to the gate that traps children in poorly performing schools and districts. That key should be freely offered. And tonight I urge you to protect Mississippi's economic future by enacting these bold reforms. It is imperative that we remember what others have also known. The path to Mississippi's economic success must pass through the schoolhouse door. I am honored that both chairmen of the Senate and House Education Committees have agreed to author Education Works Act for 2013, and I thank Senator Gray Tollison and Representative John Moore for their courage and support. Just as failure in public education can threaten our economic stability, so too can overreaching federal mandates. Mississippi is faced with shouldering the cost of the so-called Affordable Care Act, or as some call it, Obamacare. Now, many of these costs will be thrust upon us without our consent. However, the Supreme Court said we do reserve the right to choose whether or not we expand Medicaid. Now, let me be clear. Any law that will add 300,000 Mississippians to a federal entitlement program partially funded by the state will either result in a huge tax increase or drastic cuts in education, public safety, job creation, and other budgets. It will leave our children and grandchildren with a ballooning federal debt. The research company Milliman analyzed the Affordable Care Act and its potential impact on Mississippi. They determined that if Mississippi fully expands Medicaid, our state will spend more than $12 billion on the program between 2014 and 2020. These numbers are staggering. Now, instead of assuming enormous costs that we cannot afford, I would suggest that we spend our time and effort in finding good jobs for all Mississippians. We should be compassionate by lowering Medicaid population through economic growth, personal responsibility, and providing more access to private sector health care. Now, to help further development our medical industry and to identify ways to improve our personal health, to do both, I am pleased to announce tonight the formation of the Mississippi Healthcare Solutions Institute. Now, Dr. Clay Hayes, a respected cardiologist and former chairman of the Greater Jackson Area Chamber Partnership, will serve as the first chair of this non-government, nonprofit group. This institute will serve as a chamber of commerce, if you will, of healthcare, bringing our medical industry together and supporting healthcare as an economic driver in our state. Please join me in thanking Dr. Clay Hayes for assuming this critical responsibility. Thank you, Dr. Hayes. One essential health care step we must take is increasing the number of doctors in Mississippi. Now, we know that physicians create about $2 million in economic impact the minute they enter their communities. This includes the people they hire and the equipment and supplies they buy to run their offices. Having more providers will create better health care access for all Mississippians, thereby lowering the cost of health care. Just this month, I joined the University of Mississippi Medical Center to break ground on a new expansion of the School of Medicine. With the addition of new classrooms and laboratories, each incoming class of medical students will increase to more than 160. This means Mississippi will graduate more doctors. The university estimates about 2025, an expanded medical school will produce 1,000 new physicians and support more than 19,000 new jobs. Now, I would ask the legislature to consider the impact of this medical school on our state and please support its growth. Now, we should also look to our energy sector for growth and job opportunities. Mississippi is a leader in many energy-related policies and industry practices. By supporting energy development and investment, we can bring more jobs to our residents. As chair of the Southern States Energy Board, I will work hard to make sure Mississippi is positioned as a leader in the energy economy of the future. As all of you I know understand, Mississippi's business climate plays a critical role in attracting new opportunities and new jobs to our state. In my executive budget recommendation, I propose a small business tax relief measure that will further stabilize our business climate. Now, each June, certain small employers in the state are required to prepay a portion of their taxes. Now, this is known as the delayed accelerated tax payment, a name only government could create. Delayed accelerated tax payment. And this move puts a large burden on our state's job creators. My budget proposes a relief for small employers, and I urge the legislature to support it. The National Federation of Independent Businesses joins me in this call, and I hope you will join us. Last year, we took steps to protect Mississippi's financial stability. You were very responsive to my request to spend no more than 98% of the general fund revenue. And I've made the same request this year and asked you to join me in this commitment to savings, and I know you will. I also ask you to heed the guidance of my executive budget recommendation and support the essential functions of our government. Now, I understand the difficult decisions required when allocating limited resources for multiple priorities. I've submitted 2 balanced budgets as governor, and as lieutenant governor, I served during the beginning of the worst financial crisis in a decade. We had to make tough choices to cut more than $100 million from state government in 4 years. However, I believe public safety and economic development are important functions of our government. Public safety is essential, and they should be treated as such. Now, I will accept that any agency can do a better job of managing their resources. Believe me, I continually challenge my executive agency heads to do just that. I especially ask, if you will, that you will work to the best of your ability with our new executive director at MDA, Mr. Brent Christensen, to support economic development, business recruitment, and tourism in Mississippi. Brent, thank you for being here tonight. The story of our country is bound by the men and women who risked and in many cases gave their lives for the lives of someone else. Human acts of selflessness are what sustain and define our great nation. As Mississippians, one could say our most active security threat is the strike of severe weather. And last year, like many years prior, reminded us of the sudden danger that severe weather can bring. Mississippi suffered the impact of Hurricane Isaac just a few short months ago. This storm destroyed homes, threatened dams, and flooded communities. Families were rescued from the rising floodwaters by swift water boat teams. I'm proud to have personally witnessed the bravery of the individuals in the Mississippi National Guard, the Department of Wildlife, Fisheries and Parks, the Department of Public Safety, and many local response agencies. In all, nearly 900 Mississippians owe their lives to the daring rescues of these brave men and women. Please join me in thanking these Mississippi heroes. So now we and this government at this place and in this time have begun our second year of service. Now I know each of you understand that nothing which truly makes a difference is ever achieved alone. As your governor, I stand ready to lead our state forward. I've asked you to consider some bold initiatives tonight, and I am under no illusion that accomplishing them will be easy. But to paraphrase President John F. Kennedy, we do not attempt these things because they are easy, but because they are hard and we are willing to accept the challenge. I know that all of us share good intentions and great hopes for our mutual success. I am reminded of chapter 1, verse 18 in the book of Isaiah, where the prophet writes, "Come now, let us reason together." Here is my pledge to you. Work in good faith with me on items both easy and hard, and I will pledge to you to do the same. We are a state of great people who are confident in pursuing a promising future. Remember, no man is an island entire of itself. We must work together to achieve big things, and together we will. God bless each of you. God bless Mississippi. And God bless the United States of America. Thank you.